Hey everybody, welcome to Potty Break Office Visit, where I'm going to take the most common questions I get in my work with foster and adoptive families and answer them right here for your multitasking pleasure. And the question for this week is, what do I do about those incessant questions? This drives parents crazy. What time is dinner? Are you making dinner? Are we having dinner? Where am I going to sit for dinner? What time do I have to get up in the morning? Do I have any pencils? These questions that happen over and over and over. And the first thing I want to say, as with all behaviors, is don't try to stop the behavior. The behavior's there for a reason. And I'm not saying we're trying to not have them ask questions. I'm saying don't tackle the questions directly. Because the questions are merely a symptom of what's going on the inside. And that is what we want to address. Now, why do kids ask these questions? Well, oftentimes they ask them because they're just really anxious. Another reason kids ask constant questions is just to fill the space. They really don't want to be left alone with their thoughts because their brains just wander into some really ugly or uncomfortable places. So they just try to keep the conversation going. Another reason they do this is really poor attempt to connect. We all have a desire to attach and to connect and to be intimate with other people, but I don't know how to do it. So I just ask random questions. Why is the sky blue? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? And then they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And one of the other common reasons that kids ask incessant questions is just because they're trying to express some other emotion, but they're just doing a really bad job of it. So what are some interventions we can use to help them to soothe or heal whatever underneath is causing all these questions to come out? And that really depends on why they're doing it. Now, here's the deal. Some parents just may have this great instinct about why it is they're doing it, but most of the time we don't know. So what we do is try different interventions to see if it gives us a clue as to what may be going on down below. So the first thing I always want to do when you're getting these incessant questions is try to not answer the question. Because when you answer the question they ask, and then they ask it again, and they ask it again, and they ask it again, it could be that they're not really asking that question. There's another question under the question, or the question behind the question. And so I want to answer the question behind the question. So examples of these would be, will you play a game with me? Will you play a game with me now? How about now? And so the question they may be really asking is, do you like me? Do you love me? Do you enjoy spending time with me? And so if you answer the question that's behind the question, rather than the question they're asking, sometimes it goes away. This happened once with one of my kids. He was constantly asking, do you want to play a game? Do you want to play a game? Do you want to play a game? And when I would sit down with him and play a game with him, the question he would ask is, can we play again tomorrow? He wasn't really looking to see if we could play a game. He really wanted to know, do I like you? And so the way you answer this question is, if you're asking if I love you, the answer is yes. If you're asking if I'm going to play a game with you, the answer is not right now. Another question behind the question that's pretty common is surrounding food. Can I have a snack? Can I eat that? What's for dinner? When are we having dinner? Or the preparedness questions. Do we have pencils I can take for school tomorrow? Are you driving me to school? So when you have those preparedness questions or the food questions, what they're really wondering, I think, oftentimes is, can I trust you to take care of me? So when they ask, what's for dinner? You can answer, if you're asking if I'm going to feed you and take great care of you, the answer is yes. But if you're asking what's for dinner, the answer is, I don't know yet. Let me get home and figure it out. Another intervention that can work, especially for these anxious kids, is to help them find the answer. Most of the time, they have the answer already. They just want to ask you. And so we might include this in a bit of a longer conversation. It's like, hey, I notice you ask a lot of questions, and I really want to answer those questions for you. But I have a feeling that it's just because you're really anxious. And I wonder if that answer isn't down inside of you already. Let's go see if we can find it. And when I'm working with kids in the office, I'll have them close their eyes. And I'll say, okay, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to go down and picture yourself traveling down inside your heart. And there's a door on your heart. And I just want you to reach out and grab that doorknob. What's that doorknob look like? Is it? And they'll tell me the color of the doorknob. And look, okay, turn the doorknob. Open up that door. Now head inside the room. There's a really big room inside there. And it's really dark. You see it? Yeah. What are you wearing? Okay. And they tell you what they're wearing. Okay, now I want you to look over in the corner. You see there's a closet. Reach over, head over to that closet. Now open the door, and inside the closet is a safe. Now I want you to open up the safe, and I want you to look inside there. And on the safe, there's a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper is written the answer to your question. What does it say? And when they take the time to calm themselves, to help them with a visualization, and you walk through this whole process with them, sometimes they can answer their own question. And it's a really nice mindfulness exercise to help them be on top of the anxiety that may be leading to the question in the first place. Another intervention you can use is to help these kids properly express the emotion that they're trying to express with the question. For example, the question is, "Where's the broom?" And the answer that you can help them with is, "You know, seems like you're kind of frustrated about having to sweep the kitchen. And I can understand, you know what, it's a lot more fun to play video games than it is to sweep the kitchen. Were you wondering where the broom was, or are you just really unhappy about having to do the job?" Another example, "Why doesn't she have to do it? Seems like you think it's unfair that your sister isn't having to clean up right now." So when you get these challenging questions, just simply help them to identify and express the emotion that is actually what they're feeling. Another intervention that has worked for some kids is to have them pay for the answers to the questions. And so what I'll ask a parent is, about how many questions would you say your kid asks in a day? And if they say, well, it's 50. I said, okay, well, here's the deal. We're going to grab some marbles or pennies or poker chips or something they can put in their pocket, and I want you to give them 40. So if they ask 50 questions a day, I'll give them 40 of these. And then you tell your kid, I will answer as many questions as you want, but you just have to pay one marble for each one. And you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to give you another 40. And so what you do is you give them the 40. And by the way, I've had kids so excited about this, because oftentimes we get into this fight where the parent doesn't want to answer and you're so tired of answering. And they said, "Really? You'll answer whatever question I ask if I give you one of these?" I'm like, yeah. So the kids love it. They think it's kind of fun too. And so every time the kid asks you the question, then you say, "Wait, okay, now I'll answer that question, but is that one you want to pay one of your tokens for?" And if it is, then you answer the question. And if it's not, then they pause themselves long enough to say, "Wait a minute, can I answer this question myself? Or is this worth it? Maybe I should save it for later." And then here's what we do at the end of the day. If they've got tokens left, let them use them on something fun. So if you have an extra 5 tokens, you can get ice cream if they have, or just give them a penny per token or a quarter per token that's left over, something that will feel, they might even want to conserve their tokens a little bit. And then every few days or a week or so, you just reduce the number of tokens and you start getting less and less of the questions. That doesn't work for everybody, but that may work for your son or daughter. If you've got other suggestions that work, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And if you love the content we're producing at Potty Break, I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel and share this with your friends. Until next time, don't forget to flush and wash your hands.